right, so just to start off, I want to talk about the dates here. So your project is due not next not this current module, but the following module. So you said that you hope to finish up your shoot this weekend. Now, what we want is that one new image for module 13, the current module. That'll be due on the 6th, and then we need two new images shot for module 14. So those images would be needed to be shot the 7th through the 13th. So hopefully that's something that you can still make happen, but I wanted to be really clear about that. All right, so let's look at your image. ISO 800, 55 millimeters. What were you at for your last image? Oh, really long, 216. Okay, so we have a much wider angle lens here. f7.1 at 1/15 of a second. So all those settings look good. That 1/15 of a second, if you could have a faster shutter speed, I would encourage that just because we don't want any movement. I don't know if you're hand holding or if you're on a tripod. It looks like we're sharp as I look at her lips or I look at her eyes. On her nose, it looks like there's like slight movement right in this area. I'm not like this file is only so big, right? So I can't see for sure, but just be aware of that. If you can shoot at a little bit faster of a shutter speed, like 1/60th of a second, that'll give you a little bit more security there. So this image is another like really brightly painted face, bright light on it. I think the lighting here works much better than what we saw last module. So here the lighting is illuminating her whole face or everything that we can see of her face. So it gives that pop of color. Here we kind of lost that as we got towards her nose, right? You had the lights on either side of her and it kind of washed out the edges, and then this kind of got a little bit too dark, where this seems much more evenly lit and draws attention throughout the image. So instead of being pushed to like the sides of the image or kind of in between as we were last week, here we can look around her whole face and see these really bright areas and kind of move around and jump around them in a really seamless way, and that's because of the way that you've lit this. So I think that works much better this week than it did last week. I also think the consistency of keeping this just close-ups of someone's face, having the hair not removed, but not within the frame, and not having any clothing works really well. This image was a little bit closer, and I think mixing those two together work fine. But I might crop in a little bit more on the bottom here so we're not seeing this flesh colored here, right? And I don't know if this is exactly how you shot the image or if there's more room around it and you've cropped in. If you have, maybe tilting it a little bit so you can keep as much of the face in as possible while cropping in on this. Or maybe even adding some color to it in post-processing might work so it doesn't stand out for us at all. But overall, I think this is a stronger image than what we saw last week. It has definitely the concept that you've talked about, the bright colors, showing some culture, showing the personality of the individual through the way that you're painting them. If we look at the difference between the two, this is more abstracted, this is more literal in the way that we're seeing the shapes on the face. So I think that gives us some variety and lends itself to our interpretation of the individual. Great job. I think this is coming along in a really fun and playful way, so I look forward to your next images.